Well, today we are back at the Adams County Rescue Mission. And the last time we were here, it was Christmas Eve. And I did not know that they were about to close. And so I was just taking my time, and then all of a sudden they were closing. So I didn't really get a good chance to look around. But today we have a chance to look around and to really investigate all of the shelves. And there are a lot of shelves. There is a lot of clutter. This is my kind of place. So we are going to head in and see what we can find that we can flip for a profit. So here we go. So one of the first places I look when I come here is in the display case. And the first thing I noticed was this little doll back here. They did have it marked for $5, and I didn't think there was much resale value there. So I did pass on that. Now, they had this bin marked 75 cents a piece, and so I did decide to dig through it, and I was finding these redware pins, and I thought they were just really neat. You guys know I love to buy and sell redware plates, and so the pins were interesting. They kind of reminded me of the plates, and I was hoping they'd be marked, but they weren't, and that's okay. But they kind of have a Pennsylvania Dutch appeal about them. And I know it's Pennsylvania German, but around here in South Central Pennsylvania, we usually say Pennsylvania Dutch. It's just what we say. But I really liked the pins, and so I did dig through there and pull them all out. Now, I also found this necklace as well, and I liked the copper flakes in the beads, and so I did grab that. It looked to have a vintage clasp. Those beads weren't as exciting for me, so I left those behind. But now I've made my way into the back room, and you can see the delightful clutter. I found this vase, and it is hand painted. I do love antique enameled glass vases, but I don't think this is antique. I think this is vintage and somebody painted it. They did a really nice job, but it just I wasn't feeling it. There were a few artichoke shaped dishes, and I wanted to see the marking on the bottom. They were Gibson, and I did not see a very high resale value for those, unfortunately. This picture I kind of liked, but the bottom was Broyhill. Again, it was a little too modern. I was a little nervous about putting it back up on the shelf. I realized there was really no safe place to put it, so I put it back to the best of my ability, but it made me very nervous. This bowl here, I liked this. It was $12. It must have been in the boutique at one point and then got moved to the back. It was marked Puritan, I believe. I believe it's Puritan ware. But it was very large and very bulky, and it's the item I would expect that would sit at the booth if I was to put it in the booth, so I passed on that. This was elegant glassware, and I'm not sure if it's Fostoria or possibly Cambridge, but I did like the pattern on that. I just didn't think that I could get very much money for it, so I did pass. Now, I did find this set of salt and pepper shakers. They were wood. They definitely had a mid-century design with the roosters, and I did check them over to see that they worked as far as the little mechanisms. And I'm pretty sure that everything was good on those. So I did end up grabbing these for $3 a piece. This candlestick holder did catch my eye because I've been drawn lately to this textured glass. Unfortunately, it was just a single. I did consider grabbing it and hoping that I would find its matchy match, but I left it there. And if I did happen to find the match, I would come back for it. And I did not, so it still lives there. I did stumble across this lacquered box. I suspect that this is a bento box, and these typically sell for $20 to $25. I could not get it open, but I'm assuming that it's all okay on the inside. And they only wanted $5 for it, so I figured there was a profit to be made there. And I liked the design of it. It wasn't worn, it wasn't scratched, it was in good condition. So I did grab this. Now, I did notice this blue glass bowl here, and it was attached to the metal, and I'm not really sure what was going on there. It's all a little overwhelming. Now, I was a little surprised that this was still here. I did show this in my last video and I left it behind, and one of my viewers, Peter, actually commented about this. These actually sell for $10 to $15, and so I did pick it up this time. This milk glass vase, unfortunately, doesn't have a very high resale value. Usually I will pick these up for myself, but I just really didn't need it today. Now, I did spot something in the back here. It is this tulip vase. Again, it's that textured clear glass that I'm kind of honing in on. And this piece is actually a Costa Sweden piece, and it sells for about $30 to $40. So I think I did all right with that. And then I found this. And I was so excited about this because we recently had some Fenton pieces with this same color scheme. Now, I'm not sure if this is Fenton 100%, and before we list it, I will find out. But it has a mulberry coloring to it with that variation of pink to blue to purple. And I just absolutely love it. This mirror also caught my eye. I just loved how it was colorfully painted. It does look like it's missing some little finials there on the end, but for only $5, I decided to grab this because it's kind of a folk art. And then I found this teepee, and I thought that this was interesting, and I thought that, oh, well, maybe that is a cookie jar. But it was not. It was just a decorative piece that looked like a teepee. So I did not buy that, but I did look at it. There you go. There's me looking at it. Because it was just an interesting piece. I expected it to be signed or something. There was a little bottle style vase back here. It was 1979, and I did like this, and I think maybe I picked this up the last time I was here, but I noticed that there was a chip, and so unfortunately I did end up putting that back on the shelf, and I will probably pick it up the next time. This little bowl I had to turn over just to see the marking. The sequoia ware is still there and still chipped, unfortunately. There's some tollware candlesticks there, and this kind of caged glass. Now, there are some vintage pieces of this cage style glass that sell for really good money. This lamp was very corroded, unfortunately. And I did find half of the praying hands, so I do get half of a point for that. I looked a little closer at the tollware because I recently found candlesticks that were petite choses, I believe is what they're called. And then I found the actual praying hands, so that's a full point. And now I'm at 1.5. Now, there was this coin bank here, and it was marked on the bottom. It was $10, and I was a little bit back and forth on it. I'm just not that familiar with them, so I figured I'd come back to it if it was still there. Now, I did like the design of this, and when I looked at the bottom, Boss Babe Collection. I mean, I can relate. It would look really nice with a succulent in it. I liked this little kitten, but unfortunately her bow was broken. This poodle, on the other hand, had no damage and the original stickers, and so I did decide to grab the little poodle. There was a planter here on the edge. It was very lightweight ceramic, and so I just didn't think that it was very good quality. I could have probably sold it for $8 to $12, but I just didn't want to mess with that. I'm just now seeing that bird hook. I should have grabbed the bird hook. It was very cute. You can see there's another hazel atlas bowl there, and I found another praying hands. Now, I thought that this was a Jim Shore piece here. There were no markings on it, and unfortunately, it looks like there was supposed to be something sticking out of the top of it, and it was missing, unfortunately. This hook was marked, and I liked the fact that it had a signature on it, but when I turned it over, it was Hobby Lobby, and I just didn't expect that something from Hobby Lobby would have a very high resale value, so I went on that assumption and left it. This was a Villeroy and Bach cutting board for $2, and I did grab this. Now, I did venture over into the pots and pans to get a sense for what was there. You can see that art glass bowl is still on the bottom. There was two the last time, and I took one of them, and I left the other. They're very, very heavy, and I figured if I can do all right with one, I might come back for the other if it's still there. But I have not even attempted to sell it yet, so... I liked this cake stand, and I liked the stem of it and how it's twisted, and it's kind of an avocado green, and I liked it. I don't always pick up cake stands, but there was something about this one that I liked, and so I did grab this for $5. This back here looked similar to the Fire and Light coaster that I had sold, and so I was trying to pick it up, but then I realized that it was actually glued to the glass there. It was not Fire and Light, but it definitely caught my eye, and I needed to investigate just a little bit further. This stack of bowls down here, I wanted to get a closer look at these. I also noticed this turned wooden vase, and it was $4. There were no markings on it and no indications of what type of wood it was, but for $4, I did grab that. It was a nice piece. This little girl was still hanging out there on the shelf. And then I found this sculpture, and I'm not sure exactly what it's supposed to be, but it is signed on the bottom. And I decided that, for $2, I will buy it and I'll figure it out later. It's just kind of an interesting abstract metal sculpture. So we will find out later what it is. This little canister or jar here did have a lid. I liked the scene on it. It was kind of a winter snowy scene with the sun. And I thought it was a sugar dish, but there was no spoon hole, so I think it's just a little jar. Then I found the chicken and the chicken's friend, and I decided that I would take both of them with me. They were marked Chase. They had their original stickers, and there was minimal damage. They're a very light ceramic, so it's expected that they would have some chipping, and they did. But for the most part, they were in pretty good shape. You can see there on the tail, there is a little bit of a chip. my little basket is filling up pretty quickly. Now, I did want to take a closer look at this, and the reason for that is because I come across the glass like this a lot. Now, this is from the Dobbin House, which is actually in Gettysburg, and it had a pretty high original purchase price, but it's not really, I just don't know what the resale value would be on it. I think that may be a blue sky piece, but you can see that there was some damage on it. I've got a Princess House bird. This metal thing, I wasn't exactly sure what this was. It was just kind of interesting. It was very shiny and very metallic, but I did not end up messing with that because I wasn't sure exactly what it was. Got some candles there. So I did notice something down here on the bottom shelf that was a little bit exciting. And you can see it's really tucked down in the back. So I kind of had to reach for it. But it's this beautiful piece of art glass. And it's $10. But you can see it's in pretty good condition. I didn't notice any chips or cracks. And the bottom is polished, smooth. And that's pretty exciting. It pays to get down low and look at those bottom shelves because I'm a tall person and sometimes I forget to crouch down and really look. And that was a very pleasant surprise. So as promised, I did come back to this coin bank to take one final look at it. And I did notice that there was a lot of chipping on it. And I took a moment to look up comps. And a similar version of this, not this exact version, sells for about $20. So they've got 10 on it. It's got a little bit of damage. I decided to pass. This dish, I think, is maybe a jewelry dish, but it was very heavy. And I was kind of surprised it wasn't marked, to be honest, because of the detail of it. And I liked it. I'm embracing the metals, all of the metals now, not just the brass, all of them. I did decide to grab this dish. As I was checking out, the woman behind the counter said to me, "You seem to like weird and interesting things. What do you think of this?" Now, this was $20, and I did end up buying it just because it was pretty cool. All right, well, our total spend here today was $95. All of that for under $100. And I feel like we got some good pieces. I'm really excited for that glass piece. It appears to me to be Fenton Mulberry. I could be wrong. But that is the coloring of it. So that was really exciting when I spotted that. I was like, oh my gosh, right on the bottom. And then finding that art glass on the other bottom shelf was just as exciting. So I feel like we got some really great pieces today. I did make a last minute purchase, as you can see, and as I'm sure I told you in the voiceover. And that was $20. I did not have any time to look it up. I just decided, yeah, let's do it. It looks like a fun whirly-majig thing. And so, yeah, I'm not really sure what that's going to do, but it was neat. And if it's not worth what I paid for it, my kids will get endless enjoyment out of it for about 5 minutes, maybe 10. So on that note, I'm going to get out of here. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see all of you tomorrow. I'm not sure where I'm going next, but I'm going to go find some treasure that I can flip for a profit. See you then.